Welcome to my Good News from Around the World series. This is where I share some of the highlights in innovation and breakthroughs across different sectors from around the globe. If you're new to the series, I highly recommend checking out all of the previous episodes because there is a lot of good going on in the world. Right now, I'm going to bring you some of the highlights for what went right around the world in September 2025. Here we go. In my first good news, Canada launched a new federal agency capitalized with an initial $13 billion. Build Canada Homes is designed to act as a one-stop shop for affordable housing, accelerating the building process by providing flexible financing, leveraging public lands, and approving large portfolio projects to de-risk them from private builders. The initiative includes $1 billion dedicated to building transitional and supportive housing for people who are homeless or at risk, and $1.5 billion for the Canada Rental Protection Fund to help the community housing sector acquire at-risk rental buildings and keep them permanently affordable. Why this is good news? Firstly, it streamlines housing development. Creating a single central federal agency eliminates bureaucratic barriers and accelerates the timeline for getting affordable homes built where they're needed most. Secondly, it addresses homelessness at the root. The $1 billion for supportive housing pairs shelter with employment and healthcare supports, tackling homelessness through evidence-based prevention rather than just emergency response. Thirdly, the initiative focuses on protecting existing affordable units. The $1.5 billion Rental Protection Fund prevents gentrification and displacement by ensuring at-risk affordable buildings remain permanently accessible to residents. Lastly, this signals equity-focused investment. The dedicated funding, like the $50 million carved out for Black-led organizations, addresses systemic barriers and ensures previously marginalized communities benefit directly from housing investment. UNESCO announced the designation of 26 new biosphere reserves across 21 countries. This landmark decision, the highest number of new designations in 20 years, brought an additional 1 million square kilometers of natural areas under global protection, an area equivalent to the size of Bolivia. This expansion represents a major success in conservation geography, protecting critical ecosystems and biodiversity hotspots around the world. Now, why is this good news? Firstly, it shows long-term vision. Adding 1 million square kilometers in a single designation round represents the most ambitious expansion of protected natural areas in 2 decades, securing vital ecosystems for future generations. Secondly, this showcases global collaboration success. The 26 reserves spanning 21 countries demonstrates effective international cooperation on conservation, sustainability goals, showing nations can work together to protect shared natural heritage and shared natural resources. Thirdly, it exemplifies biodiversity safeguarding. Biosphere reserves protect critical habitats and species while allowing sustainable human activity, creating a model for balancing conservation with community needs. And lastly, this promotes climate resilience, which is one of the things I talk about frequently in this series. Large-scale ecosystem protection helps maintain carbon sinks, preserves water cycles, and builds resilience against climate change impacts across diverse geographical regions. So it's an all-around wonderful move. After a rigorous year-long peer review process, the journal Nature published validated results confirming that a rock sample called a Sapphire Canyon, collected by NASA's Perseverance Mars rover in Jezero Crater, contains potential biosignatures. While not conclusive evidence of life, scientists hailed it as the mission's best candidate yet for containing clues that suggest microbial life processes on Mars. Now, why is this good news? This is the strongest evidence yet for ancient Martian life. The peer-reviewed biosignatures represent the most compelling indicators to date that Mars may have once harbored microbial life, advancing one of our most profound scientific questions, which is there life on other planets in our solar system and in other star systems? Secondly, the year-long peer review process and publication in Nature ensures that these findings meet the highest scientific standards, giving credibility to both the mission and the findings. Thirdly, after years of careful exploration, Perseverance has achieved its primary objective of identifying samples worth returning to Earth for deeper analysis. This shows that the current approach is getting results. And lastly, evidence of past life on Mars would fundamentally transform our understanding of life's prevalence in the universe and our place within it. In my next good news, Penn engineers took quantum networking from the lab to Verizon's live fiber network using a silicon Q-chip that speaks the same internet protocol as the modern web. The system pairs classical and quantum signals together, demonstrating that quantum communication can operate on existing commercial telecommunications infrastructure rather than requiring entirely new networks. Now, why is this good news? Firstly, this shows the achievement of real-world quantum networking, moving quantum technology from laboratory experiments, which are important, to commercial infrastructure, proves the concept is practical and scalable and no longer just theoretical. Secondly, by working with current fiber networks rather than requiring complete replacement, quantum internet deployment can happen faster and more affordably. Thirdly, quantum networking enables a fundamentally secure communication that cannot be intercepted without detection. It would revolutionize cybersecurity for sensitive data. And lastly, connecting quantum computers through networks will enable distributed quantum computing power and new collaborative capabilities previously impossible. Global corporations demonstrated strong commitment to regenerative agriculture this month. Companies like PepsiCo, Mars, and ADM launched a new program in Poland to support 24 farmers in adopting sustainable practices across thousands of hectares. Additionally, McDonald's announced a $200 million investment to boost regenerative practices on ranches in the U.S. and on farms in Europe and Canada, showing growing recognition from major businesses that regenerative farming is vital for long-term supply chain resilience. Now, why this is good news? Firstly, it shows corporate accountability in action. Major multinational food companies investing real capital demonstrates genuine commitment to sustainability beyond marketing, creating tangible economic incentives for environmental stewardship and climate resilience. Secondly, regenerative agriculture rebuilds topsoil, increases biodiversity, and captures carbon, addressing multiple environmental challenges while maintaining and even improving food productivity. Thirdly, these types of programs provide farmers with financial resources and technical assistance to transition toward practices that regenerate land health, enhance yields, and strengthen rural economies while remaining economically sustainable. And lastly, by investing in soil vitality and ecosystem diversity, multinational companies are not only safeguarding ingredient sourcing, but also increasing long-term agricultural productivity, climate stability, and ecological balance, creating shared value for business, communities, and the planet. Now, this is what I call those synergistic win-win-win dynamics that cooperation and collaboration always bring about. Nations worldwide advanced AI regulation in September, marking a new era of accountability and transparency in artificial intelligence. Italy became the first European Union member state to enact its own comprehensive AI law, aligning with the broader EU AI Act while introducing even stricter provisions. The Italian legislation includes criminal penalties for malicious uses of AI, such as generating harmful deepfakes, and added enhanced safeguards for sensitive sectors like healthcare and education. At the same time, China implemented new labeling requirements mandating that AI service providers and social media platforms clearly identify AI-generated content that could mislead the public. The Chinese policy also requires embedded metadata for traceability, ensuring AI-generated content can be verified and responsibly managed. Now, why this is good news? Firstly, mandatory labeling and traceability empower individuals, the public, to easily recognize whether content is human or AI generated, supporting greater digital literacy and informed decision making. Secondly, Italy's new accountability measures for AI misuse establish very clear ethical boundaries and reinforce the importance of using emerging technologies responsibly, transparently, and with a human-centric vision and plan. Thirdly, enhance safeguards in healthcare and education ensure that AI strengthens rather than disrupts areas where accuracy, empathy, and human well-being are most vital. And lastly, global regulatory momentum is accelerating as more nations implement complementary AI governance frameworks, and encouraging international consensus is emerging, one that values transparency, accountability, and innovation, working together for the safe and beneficial evolution of technology. In my final good news story for September, 92 UN member states have expressed strong support for a female candidate for the next Secretary General appointment in 2026. This would be the first time a woman leads the UN in its 80-year history, representing a landmark moment for gender equality in global leadership and signals a turning point in how the world models inclusive governance. Now, why this is good news, I talk about gender equality in just about every episode in this series. This would be a historic breakthrough in global leadership. The appointment of the first female UN Secretary General would shatter one of the last symbolic barriers in international diplomacy, affirming that the highest offices of global influence are open to all, based on capability and vision, not gender. Secondly, this would be modeling equality at one of the highest levels. The UN, a long champion of gender equity, taking the step within its own leadership strengthens its credibility and moral authority as it continues to advocate for women's rights and empowerment worldwide. Thirdly, the showcase of widespread international unity with 92 nations openly supporting this initiative is amazing. The call for gender balanced leadership now reflects a shared global consensus that equitable representation is essential to legitimate and effective governance. Lastly, this provides inspiration for generations to come. A woman leading the United Nations would serve as a powerful living example to women and girls everywhere that no position of influence, service, or global responsibility is beyond reach. So there you have it, just a sampling of a few of the things that went right in September 2025. This is just a sampling. There are many more good news stories that happened in September that I didn't report on. But here's your sampling. Here's showing you that progress is happening, that incremental step toward a brighter future for all is being built, decision by decision, collaborative effort by collaborative effort, innovation by innovation, vision by vision. And here's that opportunity for you to focus on what went right in your own community, what went right in your environment, what's working, what's going right. Here's your opportunity to focus on the good, because there is a lot of it. Hey, thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. To stay notified on when new videos on manifestation, consciousness expansion, and more are available, hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified.